says it will not cancel leaked papers in ongoing WASI. President Mahama begins Accounting to the People tour. Passport Application Office to introduce an online format for applicants. And market studies suggest growing markets in illegal trade of guns and weapons in Libya via social media. It's time for News Hour Live on GBC24. My name is Yoko Kwakutren. With me in the studios are Ekuya and Clement, some who do the sign language translation. But first of all, let's take our first story. And the West African Examination Council says it will not cancel its question papers that were leaked to students taking part in this year's West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Reports on Wednesday revealed that some students in the Greater Accra and Eastern regions had access to the examination papers between 12 midnight and 4 a.m. on the day the paper were written. The oral English, integrated science paper, social studies and now physics have all leaked. But a statement signed by WAEC's Deputy Director of Public Affairs, Agnes Tai Kujo, said the papers already written will not be cancelled. She said the remaining papers will be taken as scheduled and investigations will continue and persons found culpable will be appropriately sanctioned. The statement explained that before the said papers were issued from the depots, the council detected a number of different versions of the questions in circulation but found them to be fake. It was, however, discovered later that some authentic questions went into circulation after the papers were released to the examination centers. The council suspects that this foreknowledge was perpetrated through the connivance of some persons engaged for the conduct of the examination and their agents. The council, with the assistance of the security agencies, is tracking down these persons for prosecutions. Well, we have on the line now the WAEC PRO, Agnes Tai Kujo, to tell us more about this development. Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for joining us live on GBC24 and GTV. Well, Madam Kujo, can you please confirm that really some of these papers in the ongoing WASI actually were leaked?
Well, the papers for the ongoing WASI did not leak. As we have stated in the statement we issued, the council suspected foreknowledge of some of the papers of the ongoing WASI. Now, you know that we keep our question papers at depots at various places throughout the country. And we issue these papers out to the examination centers, sometimes about an hour for the conduct of each examination. So our monitoring of the examination led to the fact that some of the papers came out about an hour before the questions were written. So when we get such situations like that, which we also noted were localized because it wasn't widespread, we had just a few places which had these things occurring. We describe them as foreknowledge and not leakage as carried out in this morning's edition of the Daily Graphic. This is the reason why we have come to the conclusion that there will be no need for the papers which have been written to be cancelled and that the examination should also go on as scheduled.
Well, it now appears that is now it's getting like every year papers will be leaked. It's becoming a trend. Is WAEC really disturbed about this development?
WAEC is very disturbed about this development because we are not happy when these things occur. And year in, year out, we always look at our procedures and then we beef up our security measures. This is the reason why we are saying that we are leaving no stone unturned to unravel the source of this foreknowledge that we have reported today.
Okay, but this thing was said last year. The same thing was said, that we are leaving no stone unturned to unravel whatever happened for this leakage to occur, and it's appeared again. What is really happening?
Well, it looks as if we have some unscrupulous persons in the society who are out to make sure that the examination doesn't go on as scheduled, and also to try to make money out of candidates. Because when some of these people even get at some of the centers, after the papers get to the centers, then you would have some people just taking photographs, and you know that with WhatsApp, they can just send it out. So that is what we have noticed, and that is what we are working on now.
Okay, so does WAEC foresee an end to such leakages?
Definitely, this cannot continue. As an examining body, we will not allow this to continue, and we'll definitely get to the bottom of it.
How are you going to do that?
We are investigating, and we will come up with the appropriate measures.
Last year you did investigations, and this year is the same thing that we're hearing. So how will one be sure that this time round we're going to be successful?
Well, we are working on it, and as we also stated in our statement, whatever it is that we are doing, we cannot do it alone, because our staff strength is less than 1,000, and we are working in all regions of the country, and we need the support of members of the public. You have public-spirited individuals in the society who give us information, who give us leads as to things that are happening. So once we have people like that supporting us, we have other people who just want to bring down the system, or who want to cut corners, or who want to make sure that candidates reap where they do not sow. So I'd like to use this opportunity to appeal to members of the public who have any information or who have any lead for us to please let us have the information, so that together, collectively as a society, we'll be able to curb this menace. Because we can do everything that we have, or we can within our power, but we need the support of members of the public.
Thank you very much, Madam. We've been speaking to the Deputy Director of Public Affairs of WAEC, Agnes Tai Kujo.
In other stories, in inspecting cold stores at Shama and New Takoradi, President Mohammed said those are the signs pointing at a government walking its talk. Dubbed a Countering to the People tour, Mr. Mohammed is using his regional tours, starting with the Western region, to assess the impact of projects as well as remedy areas where there are loose ends.
The coastal areas of Ghana are a beehive of fishing activities. The sector has engaged government as they seek to fix issues and better the lot of fishermen and women as well as allied businesses. In a bid to prevent post-harvest losses, the government has been providing cold stores for selected fishing communities. One of these is at Shama in the Western region. The president inaugurated and inspected the facility to serve the fisherfolks there. All those in the value chain of the fishing business can preserve wares in the cold store. The president opened another one at New Takoradi. It brings to 3 the number of cold stores he has officially inaugurated, having done same for a larger facility at Almina in the central region last year. Another cold store at Pram Pram in the Greater Accra region awaits inauguration. The president and his entourage took a walk along the waterfront of New Takoradi, where the officials interacted with the fishermen and the traders. The government team later interacted with fishermen and fishmongers at a town hall meeting. They want regular supply of premixed fuel, reduction in the prices of outboard motors, and protection of interest and artisanal fishing against large vessels which attempts at plying national territorial waters. President Mahama said the government will act through Maslock to solve all outstanding issues confronting the fishing sector.
Yeshase no efi 2009 na woshes dem aquaculture adwuma enam a ye produce e wo Ghana he nyina 3,000 tons ene ya bomodia ama dem dwuma no etumpon ama afe enam a chese wo chen wo yankasa ye no afe edru 40,000 tons ente chede Ministry of Fisheries ne Aquaculture yedi sika ehye afare dwuma no mu a ochede won a woko pumu ne ade onso woko na won a onso wo ye aquaculture no onso oye se ofa coastal here yebema landing beaches bia dem moto owo 9 miensa no tricycle yebema landing beach bia abobo ya bakon se na be ya watch nam na e wo poano a ebetimi de nam no egum na ode aba cold store.
President Mahama was installed by the fishing community as chief under the title of Aferini Kweja III, succeeding his predecessor Professor Mills on that ceremonial stool. It is in recognition of the periodic engagement between the presidency and the fisher folks.
The Passport Application Office will soon introduce an online format for applicants. The aim is to reduce the constant congestion and long queues at the passport offices. The Director of Passport, Alexander Grant Intrakwa, told GBC24 that the issuance of fake forms and passports by some middlemen will be eradicated. He also hinted that more offices will be opened in the country to make the issuance of passports faster than usual.
Located near the Tama station in Accra, the Passport Application Center is always congested with applicants from all over the country who seek to obtain their passports. The Passport Office has also been in the media for alleged bribery, extortions and activities of middlemen also referred to as Goro Boys, alleged harassment of applicants by officials, distortion of collection dates, among others. In an interview with GBC24, the Director of Passports, Alexander Intrakwa, said most applicants do not follow laid-down procedure.
The period is either 2 weeks or 1 month, but the question is, if we gave you this time and immediately after taking the picture you invaded the head office, it means you are not allowing the staff to attend to these applications, and the staff will have to engage themselves with those who come there on daily basis. And in the process, we end up not being able to deal with the backlog that we have in the system.
The Passport Director also advised applicants to desist from engaging Goro Boys who sometimes provide wrong information about applicants in a bid to speed up the process. He advised applicants to fill their own forms, submit and follow up for processing in order to avoid challenges midway. He says most applicants are refused visas at the embassies due to misinformation on their passports provided by Goro Boys. To reduce congestion and long queues at the passport office, Mr. Grant Intrakwa says an online service will soon be introduced to enhance service delivery.
When you go online, you have to book an appointment to go to a passport office, and every region will have its own quota. So if you book an appointment and on that specific day the quota is exhausted, you'll be rolled on to the next day. So if a passport office takes only 200 people a day, only 200 people will be expected to come there on that day. And so when you come, the verification will not take any long time for us to do. Your data caption will take a short time. And then because your data is in the system already, it will make it faster for us also to process your passport. But we will have to give some opportunities to those who wouldn't have that IT background to use institutions or facilities that will be made available to them to do their passports.
The director also spoke of major infrastructural development, which will include the opening of new offices at Cape Coast, Kufuorua, Bolgatanga and Wa. This, he says, will help reduce the pressure at the offices in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Ho, Sunyani and Takrady.
rainstorm has hit Brekum in the Bunahafi region, causing extensive damage to the College of Education. The development has prompted the Vice Principal, Mr. Kenneth Benjamin Hayford, to make an appeal to the Brekum Municipal Assembly and the government to assist the college to rebuild. The storm ripped into the building, damaging the roofs and causing damage to the college's fence. There were no casualties.
The storm, which started about 7 p.m., lasted for about 2 hours and left massive destruction in its wake. A brick office collapsed in about 3 different locations: the account office, the school clinic, the teaching practice office, classroom blocks, academic affairs section, and dormitories had their roofs ripped off. Items like computers, books, and documents were all soaked and destroyed in the rain. One of the male halls of residence, Nicola's house, was also affected. Emmanuel J. Safo was an eyewitness.
Academic work is going to halt for a period of time. Looking at the condition that we are in now, we can't go to our classroom to study in water, as well as academic affairs officer who holds most of our documents. It is also wet. Our documents are no more over there. Our ICT lab, that of our science laboratory, most of our apparatus, the glasses ones, they are broken. When we go to our ICT lab, our laptops, our desktop, a lot, most of our machines are spoiled by the rain.
The Vice Principal of the Brekum College of Education, Mr. Kenneth Benjamin Hayford, told GBC24 that the damage done is too much for the college alone to bear. He appealed for help.
We want the Municipal Assembly and then the government to also come in to help, because the little that we have cannot be able to work on all these things, rectify all these things. So we are pleading with the government to come in immediately, else the academic work is also going to be affected.
The Deputy Minister for Agriculture in charge of crops, Dr. Yakubu Al-Hassan, has urged the non-state actors to use agriculture as the main instrument for economic growth, reduce hunger and reverse poverty in the country. Agricultural experts say Africa has a large percentage of the world's arable land, yet the continent continues to struggle to produce enough food to feed its people and for export.
Food insecurity has become a major worry and threat to many nations, including those on the continent of Africa. In spite of the large arable land available in Africa, the continent is still struggling to produce enough food to feed its people and for export. This is largely due to lack of access to information and machinery. The Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Programme, CADEP, is a continental policy framework designed to drive agricultural development in Africa with a primary focus of doing agriculture as an economic activity. CADEP organized this year's workshop to bring together farmers and stakeholders to deliberate on issues to create wealth, tackle poverty and reduce hunger through policy dialogue, advocacy, capacity building and reforms. In a keynote address, the Deputy Minister for Agriculture in charge of crops, Dr. Yakubu Al-Hassan, said the public and the non-state actors must collaborate towards a policy formulation to reduce hunger and poverty in the country.
As non-state actors and investors, we need to take advantage of the current enabling environment to take African agribusiness to higher heights.
A representative from USAID, Mr. Brian Conklin, encouraged the participants to stand up and be a voice in developing the agricultural sector of the economy. The CADEP Non-State Actors Coalition Coordinator, Kopep Dabugat, also spoke about the importance of the seminar.
Non-state actors are supposed to come out with a detailed action plan on how they are going to engage the process in Ghana, the CADEP process in Ghana.
The seminar was to create a platform for stakeholders to devise a comprehensive way to reduce poverty, malnutrition, hunger, and transform the agricultural sector.
The ban on drumming and noise making is to begin on 2nd May and will be lifted by the Odadao ceremony on 2nd June. A statement by the Ghana Traditional Council says the Homawo Festival will be ushered in by the Lante Janwe on 23rd July, while the Gamashi Homawo will be celebrated on August 6th. The release further urged the general public to respect the customs and traditional norms associated with the festival. You're watching the main news live on GBC24 and GTV. We're taking a short break. Business is next.
It's the third working day of the week and we bring you some business updates. I'm Dorothy Ajimai. The University of Ghana Business School has held its Management Day celebration with a focus on financial accountability and political governance in Ghana. The event provides a platform for industry, academia and policymakers to dialogue on the Ghanaian economy.
The University of Ghana Management Day was first marked in 1980 with the objective of fostering a harmonious relationship between industry and academia. Since then, the event has brought together students, lecturers, corporate executives and managers, public and private sector organizations together to share experiences and expectations. The theme for this year's celebration, Financial Accountability and Political Governance in Ghana, sought to provide a platform for dialogue with industry, academia and policymakers to discuss pertinent issues on financial accountability and political governance in Ghana. Director for the Center for Public Accountability, University of Professional Studies, Accra, Mr. Albert Kendepa, said a good financial governance will lead to good accountability to the taxpayer.
Politicians and public servants who are entrusted with public resources must be answerable for the fiscal and social responsibilities to the people who provided the resources and who assigned the responsibilities to them. Chairman, political governance must promote good governance, without which sustainable and inclusive human development is not possible. It is only through good governance that we can be assured of the best provision of public goods and services by the government.
The majority leader in Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbin, said inadequate sources of funds for political parties could defeat the purpose of political democracy in the country.
Political parties organize the citizens and provide options or choices for citizens to freely decide which party or candidate could best represent their socio-economic interests. Without political parties, the diverse social demands of sundry supporters and voters might never be represented in Parliament, in government, and in public administration.
The Executive Director of the Africa Public Policy Institute, Professor Mike Okwe, encouraged all Ghanaians to ensure good governance by being vigilant and consistently demand accountability.
A 4.7 million Ghana cedi office complex has been inaugurated in Accra for the Controller and Accountant General's Employees Cooperative Credit Union. Commissioning the building, the Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Baba Jamal, hailed the union for standing the test of time amid the challenges facing some microfinance institutions in the country.
Ago, Mr. B.W. Ansah and Patrick Lawman mobilized 15 workers of the Controller and Accountant General's Department to start a civil service cooperative credit union. The credit union held its meetings in the department's old canteen, while financial business took place in the office of the treasurer. In 2000, the credit union opened a bank account and a new office from where the credit union operated. In July 2012, the Controller and Accountant General's Employees Cooperative Credit Union began the construction of a 5-story office building at Kuku Hill, Osu in Accra. The building was completed in September last year.
The 4,700,000 Ghana cedis building has spacious offices and conference rooms with security cameras. At the commissioning of the facility, the manager of the credit union, Mr. B.W. Ansah, announced that part of the building will be leased out as offices to corporate bodies and organizations. The former Controller and Accountant General, Madam Grace Ajudo, advised managers to undertake routine maintenance and provide adequate security to safeguard the huge investments in the building.
I wish to urge the management of the credit union to focus on service delivery and also consider automation of the other systems. I have been informed that the credit union continues to use manual passbooks to record transactions for members. I wish to encourage the credit union to automate this system in a manner that allows members to view their statements online using the internet.
The Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Baba Jamal, congratulated the Controller and Accountant General's Employees Cooperative Credit Union for being able to finance the building.
Sometimes the recovery rate goes too low, and that's where the problem is. But when your recovery rate is in the region of between 50 to 60%, you should be able to survive. So it's not a bad business. It's not something that is wrong. People shouldn't be worried that some have collapsed. Some have collapsed. Some are surviving. Not only surviving, but making strides in the business of microfinance. And you are a typical example. And I'm extra happy. In fact, I'm happier because it is coming from the civil service.
The general manager of KOA, Nana Kwesi Ejapong, encouraged the union to fulfill every core obligation to its members, especially of issuing loans. The Controller and Accountant General's Employees Cooperative Credit Union hopes to become a workers' bank. Awards were given out to some executive members who have distinguished themselves in the line of duty. You're watching the business segment of the news, and in a special report, ever wondered why your fanti kenke has reduced in size lately? Popularly referred to as Wonade Ochiao, meaning your mother extends her regards in the fanti dialect. High cost of maize and wrappers for packaging have been cited as some of the reasons for the increase. Some fanti kenke sellers at Yamranza near Cape Coast in the central region are hoping for better times.
Yamransa is a small community near Cape Coast in the central region of Ghana with a population of over 3,000. On a typical day, one would not journey to Cape Coast without spotting fanti kenke wrapped beautifully in blue polythene bags along the main highway leading to Yamransa. A ball of fanti kenke goes well with some tasty fried shrimps and fish. Sellers package 5 to 10 balls neatly in a blue polythene bag to attract road users. One of such bags of fanti kenke goes for 8 Ghana cedis and 10 cedis. A ball goes for 1 Ghana cedi. Each wrapped kenke is labeled with the name of the seller and their contact numbers. This, according to the vendors, is to enable customers identify them, as well as lodge complaints if there are any. And if you are out of physical cash, don't worry. Those people have embraced technology, so you can pay via mobile money. Meet Amateria and her sister Awo. They usually assist their mother to sell kenke to make ends meet. Their mother, known as Mmahawa, has been in the business for over 10 years.
Our mother has been in this business since we were born, until we dropped out of school to assist her.
This is what some of the sellers had to say when GBC24 sought to find out how the kenke business is faring.
The price for corn has gone up. Therefore, we are unable to increase the size of the kenke. When the price reduces, we will decide whether to sell it for 50 pesos or 1 Ghana cedi.
Although business is not lucrative as before, we are able to survive on the little income we make.
Some of these fanti kenke sellers also deal in gari and palm oil. Interestingly, we chanced upon some yellowish gari, which is a deviation from the usual creamish-colored one that most Ghanaians are used to. One may think the yellowish gari is colored, but the vendor said the gari is processed naturally from yellow cassava. The income from the Fanti Kinke business in Yamransa is what some of the women rely on to fund the education of their children. However, the risk of a speeding vehicle running into them along the highways are a concern for these traders as they feel unsafe. The story of the toils of the typical Fanti Kinke seller at Yamransa is a reminder of how the ordinary Ghanaian risk all to make ends meet. It is the hope of these women that someday the price of corn will reduce in order that they can increase the size of the kinke they sell to sustain patronage of their product.
The cedi gained a peso against the pound sterling, a peso to the US dollar, and stood firm to the euro on the interbank currency market. This segment was brought to you by Airtel and Ernest Chemist. Next is insurance news. The Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool is urging government to subsidize the agricultural insurance policy for farmers. The general manager of the pool, Alhaji Ali Mohammed Ketu, says such a subsidy will stimulate the interest of the youth to venture into the agriculture. The Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool helps farmers to access credit and inputs for more farmers and encourage greater investment. This increased their confidence level as they aim to further commercialize their farming activities. The general manager of the pool, Alhaji Ali Mohammed Ketu, appealed to government to subsidize agricultural insurance to sustain the policy.
What we would think could solve the problem, apart from the subsidy or in addition to the subsidy, is a policy direction. Let's say every lending going to agric should be bundled with agric insurance so that it should ensure the continuity or sustainability of whatever program we're having. For example, if there's a program that gives grants to farmers, the farmer is not going to repay, fine. But if there's agric insurance to protect that investment, that grant, in the bad years where the crop fails, then the objective of that grant will be achieved.
Issues of land tenure system and funding came up as factors that deter the youth from going into agriculture.
If agric insurance is thriving and is working very well in the country, some of these barriers could be overcome. For example, if the financial institution know that, or if I give a facility to the youth and even in the times of drought or others, they have insurance to fall on to bring them back to business, why not?
Alhaji explained why the insurance policy covers only caged livestock.
We have a product for poultry, but even when we move a step further, guinea fowl, who is also a bird, we don't have a cover for it. Why? Because the husbandry is not the same as the chicken. Chicken stays 24 hours, 24/7 in the pen. What about the guinea fowl? The mode of rear is a bit different. So this is where agric insurance is more or less a bit specific.
The insurance policy provides food security to boost the country's economy. The Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool plans to offer new products such as area yield index insurance for cereals. In the long term, it also plans to include coverage for cocoa, caged livestock, and aquaculture. The insurance news was brought to you by SIC Life. Health is next.
Proudly brought to you by FPAC, blows your pain away. My name is Kojo Echampon. Now to our stories. Tuberculosis is curable, but the disease continues to silently claim the lives of many, making it the third leading cause of death in Ghana after malaria and HIV and AIDS. One factor accounting for TB deaths is the stigmatization that comes along with having the disease. Also, failure to seek early treatment renders most cases helpless. To reverse the situation, the Ghana Health Service is working in partnership with other health institutions in the Red Arrow campaign.
Globally, 9 million people contract tuberculosis every year. The disease, which has become an endemic, is caused by a type of bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. About a third of the 9 million people who get TB each year do not get access to treatment. In Ghana, an average of 76,000 people contract the disease every year. Though TB treatment is free, 9,700 out of this number lose their lives needlessly. However, with the latest Red Arrow campaign and other measures, it is the hope of the Ghana Health Service that the disease will be eradicated by 2030. This is because TB screening and diagnosis will now be taken to the doorsteps of people.
If people are dying of chest infections and even tuberculosis, and it is number 3 on the causes of death, and tuberculosis is a disease that is curable, and even the treatment is free, then there's still a lot of work to be done. We must be able to diagnose TB with rapid diagnostic test kits like we have for HIV. We must have an efficient treatment that cures TB and multi-drug resistant TB in weeks rather than in months, without the debilitating efforts of current treatments. And we must finally have an effective vaccine against TB that ensures that no one contracts TB in the first place. It looks quite ambitious, but we think this is the only way to go if we are to prevent any unnecessary deaths.
Starting from Accra, the Red Arrow campaign is expected to screen 1 million people as well as provide medical assistance to those who will be found with the disease. Micheline Taka, GBC24, Accra.
Still in the health news, the Ghanaian community in Oklahoma has donated medical equipment to the stroke unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The donation, worth $300,000, follows a needs assessment conducted by the group last year.
The 9-member Oklahoma Ghanaian community in the United States of America is dedicated to improving the care given to patients suffering from stroke and reducing mortality. It is the second donation in 9 months by the group to the unit. The items donated include compact portable patient monitors, patient monitor roll stands, kangaroo e-pump arterial feeding pumps and sets, semi-automated blood pressure monitor, tetrapod blood monitor, tetrapod canes, stability balls, wheelchairs, and walkers.
When you talk of stroke, you are really hitting on a very soft nerve as far as I'm concerned. It has been a pleasure to be part of this group, and as we said the last time when we came, we will be coming from time to time to do some evaluation to assess the situation and to see if there are more needs. We will do everything we can to fulfill those needs.
We want to say thank you very much to the Oklahoma community and to our nurses, physios, and all of us who's going to lighten the burden for us.
Stroke, otherwise known as a brain attack, occurs when blood clots form in the brain. According to Dr. Alberta Palu, stroke accounts for about 30% of all medical admissions and 20% of mortalities. Whilst high blood pressure is a major risk factor, stroke is mostly lifestyle related. He cautioned those at risk to, among other things, watch out for drastic changes in the facial movement, slurred speech, and inability to raise the arms so as to seek immediate medical attention. Sarah Fori, GBC24, Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
And that was the health news, proudly brought to you by kind courtesy of FPAC. We are back after this break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Hour. On the foreign front, a new study suggests there is a growing market in the illegal trade of guns and weapons in Libya via social media sites, in particular Facebook. The report covered 18 months and found sales of a wide range of items from handguns to rocket-propelled grenades. Most were bought and sold on closed or secret Facebook groups. The illicit sale of guns is a violation of Facebook's terms of service. The study was commissioned by the Small Arms Survey and used data collected by Armament Research Services on a total of 1,346 sales. Researchers believe this is just a fraction of the full trade taking place on social media. Colonel Gaddafi was an obsessive buyer of weapons and tightly controlled the market. During his 40 years in power, it's estimated he spent more than $30 billion on arms. The number of deaths from a yellow fever outbreak in Angola has risen to 225, with at least another 1,600 infected. However, experts fear the numbers could be greater in rural areas where reporting is difficult. A huge vaccination campaign launched in February has already reached 6 million of the capital Luanda's roughly 7.4 million inhabitants, but the disease has since spread to 16 of the country's 18 provinces. According to the World Health Organization, the global emergency stockpile of vaccines is already empty. The WHO has urged Angola to only vaccinate in areas where yellow fever is spreading, but infected travelers have already brought the disease from Angola to 3 other countries in Africa, including the Democratic Republic of Congo. Most infections occur in or close to the jungle, where the disease is transmitted through the yellow fever mosquito. Most people have no symptoms. Some experience fever and joint pain, but roughly 15% progress to the more severe stage, in which eyes and skin turn yellow. That's it for International. France Sports is next.
Happenings in the world of sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. We have been backed by JPS Tornado Betters. Let's go straight to Switzerland, where FIFA officers, the officers of the European Football Union UEFA, have been searched by the Swiss police. That follows the naming of ex-Secretary General Gianni Infantino, now president of the world's football governing body, in papers leaked from the Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca. Meanwhile, a FIFA official also named in the papers, Juan Pedro de Emen, has resigned. Infantino has denied wrongdoing, whilst UEFA says it is helping the police. Whilst working for UEFA, Infantino co-signed a television rights deal in 2006 with 2 businessmen who have since been accused by the FBI of bribery. Cross-trading, owned by Hugo Jenkins and his son Mariano, bought TV rights for UEFA Champions League football in 2006 for $111 million and immediately sold them to an Ecuadorian TV broadcaster for approximately $312 million. Cross-trading paid $228,000 for the rights for the UEFA Super Cup, selling those to the same TV broadcaster for $126,200. Back home, the Ghana Rugby Football Union has celebrated the UN International Day for Sports and Development and Peace. The union organized Get Into Rugby program for school children from the Faith Community Baptist School in Medina. The UN General Assembly in 2013 set the 3rd of April as the International Day for Sports for Development and Peace. This year, the Ghana Rugby Football Union joined the rest of the world to celebrate the day with school children from the Faith Community Baptist School at Medina. The program was dubbed Promoting Peaceful Coexistence in Ghana through International Rugby Clinic for School Children. Members of the IDA Sports Club were present to take the children through the basics of rugby as sports, with familiarization to the ball, passing, and running with the ball and fun games among others. The headmistress of the Faith Baptist School in charge of basic school level, Kate Odru, said she was happy at the opportunity given them.
Rugby is a new game. It's not so common in Ghana. And I believe that we need to move away from the traditional sports. And that's why I thought it was a good idea to join them to introduce the sport to the kids.
Some of the children shared their experience.
If you want to play rugby, be self-confident, believe in yourself, and hope that you can do it, and teamwork.
It helps me to learn how to run, learn the rugby, how to do it, and all that.
The manager of IDA Sports Rugby Club, Abdul Samed, said turnout was impressive.
I was not thinking to get this number, but today the number is more than expected. We hope what they learn today, they will use it in their academic work, they will use it in their sports, they will use it in their general knowledge.
Some children received tokens for their performance. Nigerian chess players have been crowned at the 2016 Zone 4.4 Individual Chess Championship held in Accra. Master Oladipo Adu amassed 8 points in the 8-day championship to pick the ultimate cash prize of $1,000, a trophy, a gold medal, and a certificate. 6 other Nigerians won the 2nd to the 7th positions. The Africa Chess Federation for the first time awarded Ghana the right to host the 2016 Zone 4.4 Individual Chess Championship in Accra. The 8-day championship was staged at the Tenko Plaza Hotel in Accra. 12 federations make up the Africa Zone 4.4, but players from 7 federations turn up, including Ghana. After an intense 8-day competition, Nigerians proved too strong for their Ghanaian counterparts and other nationals. They swept the first 7 prizes at stake. The president of the Ghana Chess Association, Group Captain George Akodazi, praised the players for the intense competition displayed. He urged them to continue to train to be better. There were presentations to deserving players. The ultimate winner, International Master Oladipo Edu, and the lady champion, Ofowino Tochimuwa, shared their experiences.
In a tournament like this, if you score 7 points, it's good enough to win it. But here, I had to score 8 to win it, and the competition was definitely very strong because there are a lot of strong players. Although coming into this tournament, I was seeded number 3. But at the end of the day, I came out ahead, like I say, I thank God for that.
I tried my best. I really fought. It wasn't an easy task, but I did fight. And that's what earned me this title.
The next big event on the calendar for the Ghana Chess Association is the annual International President's Cup, set for July and August this year.
Entertainment, Ghana's most beautiful finalist and former Miss Earth and Water Queen, Salma Chana Abdul Razak, says even though she is a nurse by profession, her love for the arts is what has inspired her upcoming project, Miss Upper West Ghana. Chana Abdul Razak appeared on the Showbiz on Wednesday, and we now bring you excerpts of that interview.
I have been and always in the nurse. Before I went to Miss Ghana was Beautiful.
Okay.
Before I went to Miss Earth, and then I was Miss Earth Water. Doing what I do, if you're not passionate about it, you're going to quit at some point.
Okay.
It's not that I have so much money out there that I'm just doing it in accordance to the finances. No, you just have to struggle hard, grind and here and there and all of that to just make it happen.
What inspired Miss Upper West Ghana?
You realize that most of the pageantry in the nation, as in Accra, is Accra, Kumasi. Yeah. You don't really get them going into the root area. Yes, and I'm like, I told myself that, okay, if I was just in the Upper West region and then I never came to Accra, how was I going to be in Ghana Was Beautiful to even start with? Okay. So I realized that, okay, fine, there are so many other people out there that would really use the hand, the supporting, the opportunity to really be pegged and groomed and come over there. And then down the lane after Ghana Was Beautiful, I think I groomed about 2 or 3 people. Auditions is going to start on the 9th of April. But I'm just saying that just be smart, know much about the Upper West region, and come wow me. And then
Well, on that note, we end the news for now. Many thanks for your company. We'll be back at 10:30 with the news.